Hi, and welcome to day 3 of the Conscious Co-Creation Challenge. I'm Tracy Goody, your Practical Ascension Guide. All right, so on day 1, we started to get connected into our intention and start to get clear on exactly what it is we want to create and energetically connect to that through emotion. On day 2, we start to look at trust and expectation and how that plays a really big role in co-creation. So today I want to take a look more at the co-creation process and how your intuition comes into the picture. I'm really excited about this. And what I encourage you to do, because everybody's going to be at a different level when it comes to how much they understand about co-creation, law of attraction, all of those things. So I encourage you to just pay attention, and I'm going to get to this in a minute here, but just pay attention and notice when a book jumps out at you, or a teacher, or an article, or training, or anything like that jumps out to you, and follow those intuitive nudges. A big message I was getting for today was that in order for you to really get this, to really be utilizing it in your life, you need to both be allowing the information to come in, so that can be coming in through intuitive sources, or you can be following your intuition, finding the right teacher for you, finding the right book for you. But it's also in practice, right? So by practicing it, by seeing the evidence of it, that's how you are really educating yourself on this. So you can understand the concepts and the information, but by taking part and practicing in it is how really it comes to be. So a great book for that, if you want to prove it to yourself, if you're still a little bit skeptical, E Squared by Pam Grout. It's kind of like a classic where she goes through and gives you different exercises just to kind of prove to yourself that, oh my God, this is actually real. Okay, so let's look at the co-creation process. So we're co-creating, right? So we have ourselves, and then we have the universe. And I'm just going to use the term the universe. You can replace it with source, God, energy, law of attraction. Doesn't really matter what you replace this with, but it's basically the non-physical, what's out of your hands, out of your control. Okay. So ball starts off in your court here by saying, this is what I want. This is my intention. This is my desire. And if you have no resistance, that ball just rolls straight over to the universe. Universe does its thing, and the ball rolls straight over to you, and boom, there, it's manifest. That's all there is to it, if there's no resistance, right? So just picturing that ball rolling with no resistance, universe gets the message, and it gets back to you, and it comes to fruition in your life with no resistance. But there's not very many things that we don't have resistance on. And again, the book E Squared is really good at portraying this, because it gets you to do some exercises where you probably don't have resistance to it. So for example, like my intention is to see a yellow car this week, to see, a whole bunch of yellow cars this week. So you probably don't have a lot of beliefs or resistance saying like, oh no, it's not possible. I'm not allowed. I'm not worthy enough to see yellow cars, right? You don't have that resistance. So that comes into your reality pretty easily. Or like a free cup of coffee or something like that, right? That can come into your reality pretty easily if you don't have already a resistance to it and a strong emotional, kind of wall built up around it. So whenever we are co-creating kind of bigger things that we have a bigger emotional attachment to it, whether it be in our business, in our personal life, or whatever, if you are wanting to co-create successful business, or a specific outcome being fully booked with clients or something like that, chances are whenever you roll that ball to the universe, it's already getting resistance going over to the universe, because you're just like, well, subconsciously or consciously, you're like, well, I don't know if it can be this easy. I don't know if I'm worthy of this. I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if I'll provide the value. So you have a lot wrapped up. So it's not just that one ball rolling along. You've put a whole bunch of elastic bands all around it of all of the beliefs and all of the reasons why it can happen. And that's where the resistance come in. And that's when the ball can't quite roll as smoothly. So that's why really the key is both finding this balance between connecting energetically and emotionally to what you want to draw to you, and clearing the resistance to it. All right. Okay. So let's look at this flow here. And let's use the example that it is something that feels big to you. It is something that feels emotionally charged to you. So you do recognize that there is some resistance in there. That doesn't mean you can't get it. That doesn't mean you can't co-create it. It just means you need to do the inner work for it. And as you're doing the inner work to co-create and manifest the things that you want, you're also raising up your vibration, raising up your personal mastery so that it becomes easier and easier and easier. Okay, so we're starting off with an intention, this co-creation that you want to create here. You are energetically and emotionally connected into it for at least about 3 minutes, right? You're establishing that connection, you're anchoring that connection. Boom, that intention goes off into the universe, right? So that's, universe is beginning to assemble and get things ready for you. And then it kind of bounces back over, right? Then the ball comes into your court. Universe is getting all the things aligned. So say you're like, I want to be fully booked with clients. Universe is like, okay, I'm going to start to send intuitive signals to these people because they're perfect for you. And I'm going to start to send the right book to you. And I'm going to start to send the right inspired idea for you to take action on marketing. So universe is doing its thing over here, and it's already starting to shoot all of the circumstances, shoot everything that you need to you to begin to make that a reality, okay? So you're over here, you've connected, you have set the intention. Now, when you stay consistent with that, again, that magnetically draws all the parts and pieces, all of the circumstances to you. But you gotta work with those circumstances. So this is where, so you have that connection, that consistent vibration that you're connecting into every day. That brings things around. Then you want to really connect in your mindset. So you want to get your subconscious totally on board. So you can feel it in your body. You can feel that energetic connection. Then you want to get your subconscious totally on board. Do I believe this can happen to me? Do I feel like I am worthy and deserving of this? Is there any reason I feel like I'm not allowed to have this? Just some of the examples, right? You're asking yourself these questions and you're pulling up subconscious programming and letting go of it. And what that does is it's taking those, it's taking the elastics off of the ball. So it's slowing down the friction of resistance so that the universe can work with you more fluidly, with more flow, right? Okay. So if you can spend some time each week diving into where your resistance might be. I can't have this because this isn't going to work out because. So just doing some EFT tapping, some journaling, any process you do where you're working to let go of those limiting programs, this is going to speed up the process, okay? So that's a part of it. Big part of it, the mindset and the belief. Very big part of it, and a part that a lot of people miss when they're wanting to work with the law of attraction and saying, well, this is frustrating. Why isn't this manifesting for me? And it's because your beliefs need to fully match it, okay? Now that's just a piece. That's not the whole thing, right? And like I said, if you're wanting to co-create something you have no emotional attachment to, you don't got to worry about any of this. It's just going to happen, right? It's whenever you are wanting to make a big change, a big transformation in your life, something that's emotionally charged. That is what I'm talking about. All right, so you worked on the mindset. You're being pretty consistent there. Maybe once a week, you're giving yourself a few hours, doing some EFT tapping, aligning your mindset. Every day, you're spending at least 3 minutes, either with your vision board, doing a little bit of future journaling, really feeling the energy and the emotion of that which you desire to bring to you. Feeling, what does it feel like to have this successful business where I'm fully booked out with clients? What does it feel like, right? So you're connecting into that energetic vibration, you're aligning your mindset. Now there's still another piece here too, right? Because the universe can't do everything, right? The universe can give us the tools that we need, the signs that we need, the inspiration and the intuitive information that we need, but we still need to work with that. So this is where being present comes in. And I talked about being present already on previous days and how that really is key. Being present and being mindful and paying attention to what your higher self and what your intuition is guiding you to. And you can kind of play around and practice with this. And it's play. It's not something that you force or try to do. It's totally play. So you can start off just by doing some simple exercises like, okay, if I were to listen to my higher self, if I was to take her advice, what direction am I going to drive in to find a parking spot? What am I going to focus on today, right? So you're just starting to listen to your higher self more so than your ego self, more so than kind of like that logic, right? So you're connecting into and allowing that intuitive nudges to come to you. And the reason this is important is the universe is going to be delivering what you want to you, but it might not be a direct path like boom, poof, here it is, now it's at your doorstep, right? It could also be a path like, okay, you want to be fully booked up. So be open. Don't feel like you need to be rigid and that this can only be filled in one certain way. Be open to however is the shortest, the best path of least resistance, the most aligned path for you. And when you come with that open energy and you're intuitively paying attention to the little nudges that say, hey, reach out to that person. Hey, see what she's up to. Hey, pick up this book. Those intuitive nudges will definitely come to you when you're practicing being present in your body. If you're tuning in and asking yourself, what can I do today that might be outside of my comfort zone that's really going to magnetize this to me, that's going to help bring me closer to it? And your intuition is like, so it's like the universe tells you what's going on and your intuition delivers those messages to you around where to take action, where to focus your attention, what to be looking into, because you never know the path that you're going to take to get there. And if you have ever co-created anything, if you ever, consciously manifested something, you'll know that the path is not like that. The path is all types of crazy because you're learning lessons in the process. You're doing all types of personal mastery in the process. But this is where your intuitive brilliance really comes into play and really shortens the period of time. Because if you're going against your intuition, you're not listening to it, and you're saying, oh, I'm not going to reach out to that person because I feel stupid, or I'm not going to bother with this book that I feel really called to read because I already have this other one here. When you start to do that, it's like the GPS of the universe needs to recalibrate and recalculate and then find the next shortest path, right? So whenever you do that, you're creating different paths. And it's really normal not to listen to all the intuitive nudges. I mean, I don't listen to all my intuitive nudges either because I'm still human. I'm still kind of going about daily life here with, a business and kids and all of the things that come with that. So sometimes I'm like, no, I have this responsibility, so I'm not following that intuitive nudge. And it will recalibrate and it will find another path. So it's not like the end of the world if you don't follow these intuitive nudges. I'm just letting you know that when you do follow them, it just creates this beautiful path of least resistance. So you become kind of like this magnetic attractor who's just like knows the steps to take and like is taking them, and things are happening and everything's working out in your favor and things are going really, really well for your co-creation. All right, so that is the basic path. So you're just setting the intention, you're aligning your energy, you're matching the energetic vibration, you're aligning your mindset so you know you deserve it, you know you're worthy, you know you're allowed to have it. And again, those are just some of the ways resistance come up. And then you're following those intuitive nudges. And then it's about trust. Then trust really comes in here because you might not see anything happening. Everything that's going on might be under the surface. It might be people looking into reach out to find you. It might be somebody referring somebody. It could be any number of things. Like it could be absolutely anything that's going on under the surface, energetically preparing for this to come to reality. And what happens a lot of the time too is that we're like, okay, I've got this energy piece down, I got the mindset piece down, I got the action down, and I'm doing it. And a week's gone by, and 2 weeks has gone by, and 3 weeks has gone by, and now I don't trust it anymore. And now for sure it's not coming to me, and I've screwed up, and I have too much resistance, and this isn't happening. That is your fear. That is not real. It's still growing and it's still happening under the surface, but you got to keep that trust energy going. Intuitively tune into yourself. What can I do to support my co-creation today? What feels really good? And that can be any number of things. It might be something that's out of your comfort zone. It might be taking care of yourself. It might be going out and having fun and totally forgetting about it. But that intuitive piece really is key for taking that path of least resistance, all right? So that's the basic flow of conscious co-creation. Universe is always doing its thing. Things are always happening under the surface, even when you don't understand it, even whenever you don't intuitively understand it. I've had times before where I've wanted to get moving. I've wanted to be creating and be doing something, but the only intuitive information I get is, now is not the time for you to do anything. Just chill out and relax. Go do something else. You're not needed at this time. Your energy and your focus and your attention and your action is not needed at this time. Go do something else. Like that is a legit intuitive hit that I get often because the kind of like programmed part of me wants to be working harder, wants to be doing stuff, wants to be involved in all of this. But a lot of the time, my only priority is my energy vibration. And so that means that I'm just doing something that feels good to me for no other reason than that it feels good. So I'm reading a book, I'm relaxing. I'm like, I used the example last week that my guides were like, sit down and do your nails, right? Like literally, it could be any number of things, but when you're intuitively connected and you're trusting, and then you start to see the evidence of that in your reality, that's when you're like, okay, hey, there's something here. And then it becomes a little bit more of a practice and a lot of fun. All right, okay, so that is it for day one. So today I'd like you to think about where you're at in this co-creation process, what you want to commit to in this co-creation process. Do you want to be working a little bit more consistently on your mindset? Once a day, once a week, once a month, doesn't really matter, whatever you can commit to. Do you want to be playing with your intuition more, connecting into and practicing using your intuition more for the role that that's going to play? So just go ahead and feel into it a little bit and see what feels like the biggest priority right now for your co-creation process. All right, thank you so much for joining me here on day 3.